Michel Foucault is one of the most influential thinkers of the 20th century. His ideas have shaped philosophy, sociology, political science, and even contemporary cultural debates. But unlike many traditional philosophers, Foucault was not concerned with absolute truths or grand theories. Instead, he focused on how power, knowledge, and institutions shape human behavior, identity, and social structures. Foucault's work continues to be widely studied and debated today because of its deep impact on fields as diverse as criminology, gender studies, healthcare, education, and politics. His insights into power, surveillance, and the relationship between knowledge and social control are more relevant than ever in an age of digital tracking, political propaganda, and institutional authority. This video will explore the key ideas of Michel Foucault, including his theories on power, knowledge, surveillance, and social institutions. Whether you are new to Foucault or looking to deepen your understanding, this is your guide to his complex but fascinating philosophy. Who was Michel Foucault? Michel Foucault was born in 1926 in France. He studied philosophy and psychology, eventually earning recognition as one of the most original and provocative thinkers of his time. He was appointed to the prestigious Collège de France, where he held a chair in the history of systems of thought. His work challenged traditional ways of thinking about history, power, and knowledge. He was particularly interested in how societies control and discipline individuals, often through institutions like prisons, schools, hospitals, and even language itself. Rather than seeing history as a steady progression toward truth and justice, he examined how power and knowledge shaped historical developments, often in ways that reinforced existing social hierarchies. Foucault's work is often grouped into three main phases. 1. The archaeology of knowledge, examining how knowledge is formed, structured, and controlled by institutions. 2. The genealogy of power, investigating how power operates not just through direct force but through subtle, everyday mechanisms that shape behavior. 3. Ethics and subjectivity, exploring how individuals construct their own identities within systems of power and social expectations. Foucault's concept of power. One of Foucault's most famous ideas is that power is everywhere. Unlike traditional views that see power as something held by a king, government, or ruling class, Foucault argued that power is not just imposed from above. Instead, it exists in everyday relationships, social norms, and institutions. Power is not simply about domination, it is also productive. It shapes how people think, act, and even how they see themselves. Power and knowledge are deeply connected, meaning that what we consider true is often a result of power structures shaping our understanding of reality. He argued that power is not located in a single place but is diffused through society. It operates through schools, medical institutions, legal systems, and even language itself. These institutions create categories of normality and abnormality, influencing how people behave and how they perceive themselves and others. Discipline and surveillance, the Panopticon. Foucault's analysis of disciplinary power is one of his most famous contributions. In his book Discipline and Punish, he describes how modern societies use surveillance and discipline to control individuals. He was fascinated by a concept called the Panopticon, a prison design where inmates are constantly observed but never know when they are being watched. This idea is a metaphor for how modern institutions, schools, workplaces, governments, create a sense of constant surveillance that makes people regulate their own behavior. Even without direct force, power operates by making people internalize rules and expectations. According to Foucault, this model of power extends beyond prisons. It applies to workplaces, hospitals, military institutions, and even everyday life, where social norms and expectations shape behavior in subtle but powerful ways. The knowledge that one is being watched or judged can be enough to enforce compliance. Biopower and the control of life. Another major concept from Foucault is biopower. This refers to the way modern societies regulate human life at every level: birth, health, reproduction, and even death. Governments and institutions use statistics, medical knowledge, and laws to manage populations. This control is often justified as being for the public good, but it also serves to maintain power structures. Foucault explored how medicine, psychiatry, and social sciences define what is normal and abnormal, often marginalizing certain groups in the process. The idea of biopolitics is still relevant today, especially in debates about public health, government policies, and personal freedoms. Truth and power. Who controls knowledge? Foucault argued that there is no absolute truth, only perspective shaped by power. What societies accept as truth is often determined by institutions like science, law, and education. These systems create knowledge that serves particular interests while dismissing other perspectives as false or irrational. For example, historical changes in how we understand madness, sexuality, and criminality show that these are not fixed categories but socially constructed ideas. What was once considered madness might now be seen as a medical condition, showing how knowledge changes over time. Foucault and the self. How do we become who we are? Later in his career, Foucault shifted his focus to ethics and personal identity. He examined how individuals shape their own lives within existing power structures. He was interested in how people create meaning for themselves and resist dominant norms. His concept of care of the self suggests that people can engage in self-reflection and personal transformation, even within powerful social systems. Rather than being passive subjects of power, individuals can critically examine and challenge the forces that shape them. Why is Foucault still relevant today? Foucault's ideas continue to be influential in discussions about politics, gender, surveillance, mental health, and social justice. His work helps us understand how governments and corporations use surveillance technologies today, how medical and psychological labels affect people's identities, how media and education shape what we consider truth, how power operates in everyday life, not just in governments or big institutions. His insights are widely used in fields like sociology, political theory, cultural studies, and activism. Whether we are discussing social media surveillance, police authority, or public health policies, Foucault's work remains more relevant than ever. Final thoughts. Michel Foucault's philosophy challenges people to question the structures that shape their lives. His work is complex, but it provides powerful tools for understanding how power and knowledge operate in the modern world. If you found this video insightful, do not forget to like, share, and subscribe for more deep dives into philosophy, history, and critical thought.